All right, back at it here. Week number 7 continues along here in the XLB as we have a matchup between the Gwinnett County Gladiators and the Las Vegas Horsemen. Gwinnett comes into this one leading the East at 5-1. Las Vegas is 3-3, plants them right around second place in the West, the highly contested West. Both divisions, the East and the West, are highly contested. One's just more of a clown car than the other. Right now, Gwinnett is the number 1 overall seed, which would give them a bye in the first week of the playoffs, and Las Vegas is the 4 seed right now. Let's take a look at the stats for these two teams coming in this matchup of big hitters. There you see Las Vegas getting it done offensively, batting .255 on the season with 32 runs. They've struck out quite a few more times than Gwinnett has, though. Gwinnett getting it done on the bump, though, a 3 ERA and only giving up 8 home runs this season as these big hitters on both these teams get set to square off. And speaking of the big hitters, the legends on the Gladiators include Albert Pujols and Darryl Strawberry. We'll see a little bit more of Darryl here in a bit down the line. And for the Horsemen, it is Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. Of course, Bonds has been in MVP consideration since week number 1, really, and teams are trying to figure out how to attack him, and that's going to be the job of Yoshinobu Yamamoto, World Series hero last year in real life for the Dodgers. He is recently traded to the Gladiators to help balance out the pitching needs that teams had. So he'll be making his Gladiator debut against Carlos Rodon from the Yankees for the Horsemen. The Gladiators in the East, the Horsemen in the West. My brother controlling the scoreboard and the Gladiators as we get set to get this one. I feel like I forgot something. Did I forget something? No, you don't know?
No.
Okay. Nothing was forgotten, so Brandon Nimmo will lead off against Carlos Rodon here at Allegiant Stadium, the only legit stadium that the XLV plays in. All right, I take that back. Are all legit stadiums, all 14 of them. But Allegiant Stadium right here behind me in Las Vegas. Nimmo leads off against Rodon. And Nimmo will be out of there as he'll line out to first. 1 down. We'll bring up Austin Wells, the catcher. And Rodon will get Wells to pop up to the other catcher, our favorite card in the deck. 2 down for Albert Pujols. And Rodon will strike out Albert Pujols. Not an easy thing to do. But Rodon gets the strikeout. Get through the top of 1. Bottom of 1 we go. Where Trey Turner will lead off for the Horsemen against Yamamoto. And Turner is out of there as he'll fly out to center. They'll bring up Brandon Lau. And Yamamoto will strike him out looking. 2 down for Barry Bonds. And Bonds
God bless America.
will strike out.
What?
That could be a walk, but I'm going to say it's a strikeout.
Look at this, folks.
Unbelievable. Might need its own stat graphic flash here. Barry Bonds struck out on his card. 2 strikeouts for Yamamoto. We'll go to the top of 2, where Darryl Strawberry leads off against Carlos Rodon. And Rodon will give up a single into right to Strawberry, who continues his hot play here last few games. That'll bring up.
Jeez. He'll steal. I'll steal.
75.
Oh my goodness.
Can't get a jump. That'll bring up Bobby Witt. 1 on, nobody down. And Witt will slap a double, and that's his first hit of the season for Bobby Witt Jr. Just needed to face some Horseman pitching. 2 on, nobody down for Soderstrom. And Rodon will get Soderstrom to ground out to short. I guess I should have said the infield was in. Runner on third out at home.
That's bases loaded. You're on bases loaded. You're all
Why would that happen?
discombobulated.
Batter out. Infield stays in for Eugenio Suarez. And Suarez is out of there as he'll fly out to right. There's a "You suck" chant from the children. OBR A, B, or C on scores. OBR A goes to third. And that is what happens there. That'll be a sacrifice fly for Suarez. Does that count as an at-bat?
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
it does. Huh?
No, it doesn't count as an at-bat.
Well, it has it listed as one. We'll clear it. No, it doesn't matter. All right, I'll try and make a note.
Nah. It doesn't matter.
Just, I'm just saying, whenever I do the stats and stuff.
Bobby is stealing home.
All right, Bobby Witt Jr. going to try and steal home. 72. I don't think that's going to do it.
Oh.
Runner can't get jump. So I bring up Lawrence Butler. 1 on, 2 down. And Butler will strike out to end the top half of the inning. But 1 run on the board for the Gladiators as they lead this one, and we head to the bottom of 2 where Michael Bush leads off. And Yamamoto will walk Bush. One on, nobody down for William Contreras. Yamamoto will give up a single into left to Contreras. First hit of the day for the Horsemen, and now they have 2 on with nobody down. And James Wood at the plate. And Yamamoto will strike out Wood. 3rd strikeout of the season for Yamamoto, or game. Jorge Polanco up, 2 on, 1 down. Yamamoto will strike him out as well. Back-to-back Ks for Yamamoto now, as he looks to get out of this jam with Jose Ramirez at the plate. And Ramirez is out of there as he'll ground out to the shortstop to end the inning. 2 get on, but unable to plate either of them. Top of 3 we go. Let's take a look at the schedule here in the XLB this week. Includes some pretty good matchups on the docket. Danville and Owaka, the anchor this week. 2 teams playing really well right now. Las Vegas.
Battle of last. New Orleans and Salt Lake.
Gwinnett and Las Vegas will have both of their sets of eyes on that Owaka-Danville game, as Luis Garcia Jr. will lead off against Rodon, and Garcia will strike out.
Oof.
Big swing. I'll bring up Brandon Nimmo. Rodon will give up a single into center to Nimmo. 3rd hit of the day for the Gladiators. They'll bring up Austin Wells, 1 on, 1 down. And Rodon will get Wells to ground out to second, and that'll be a double play. Bottom of 3 we go. Or it will be looking at the schedule for some stuff. It will be Jaron Duran at the plate here in the bottom of the 3rd. Duran comes into this game batting .250 on the season. Yamamoto will strike him out. It has been the bottom of this lineup that has been a major issue for the Las Vegas Horsemen the last few games. And now that's 1 down with Trey Turner, the leadoff man up. Turner batting .250 as well this season. Yamamoto will give up a single into center to Trey Turner. Turner will take off for second. .44. And he will be in there. 7th stolen base this season for Trey Turner. I'll bring up Brandon Lau. 1 on, 1 down, man on second. And Yamamoto will get Lau to ground back to the pitcher. OBRA goes to third. That'll bring up Barry Bonds with a runner on third.
Walk.
Barry Bonds will take a walk to first. Second walk of the day for Yamamoto. That is the 12th time this season Barry Bonds has been walked. And Bonds, between walks and hits, is currently getting on base almost 80% of the time this season. That's an insane stat through 7 games. Michael Busch, 2 on, 2 down. And Yamamoto will get Busch to ground out to short. So the walk pays dividends as Yamamoto gets out of the inning. 1-0. Top of the 4th we go. Heart of the lineup coming up for the Gladiators against Rodon. And Rodon will give up a single into center to Pujols. Pujols batting .238 coming into this game. That is the 4th hit for the Gladiators, and Darryl Strawberry at the plate. And Rodon will get Strawberry to ground out to the catcher. GX2, batter safe, runner out at second.
Darryl's on base.
Darryl is.
He'll steal.
48, runner out stealing. 2 down now for Bobby Witt. And Rodon will walk Bobby Witt.
He'll steal.
First walk of the day from Rodon. Witt will go for second. Can't get a jump, and Soderstrom will be at the plate.
Can't get a read.
He can't get Rodon's read down. Single into right for Soderstrom. 5th hit of the day for the Gladiators. 2 on, 2 down for Eugenio Suarez. Batting .318 on the season. And Rodon will get Suarez to fly out to left to end the inning. So still a tight game here. 1-0, bottom of 4 we go. William Contreras leads off as the bottom of this Horseman lineup look to get something going. Yamamoto will strike out Contreras. 6th strikeout of the day for Yoshinobu. That'll bring up James Wood. And Wood, he'll slap a single into right. James Wood getting the 3rd hit of the day for the Horsemen. Bring up Jorge Polanco, 1 on, 1 down. And Yamamoto will get Polanco to fly out the left. 2 down here in the 4th, Jose Ramirez. Yamamoto will give up a single into left to Ramirez. So a couple hits for the bottom of this lineup, but not really able to move the runners. Yamamoto doing a good job of limiting them. That brings up Jarren Duran. 2 on, 2 down for Duran. And Duran will slap a triple, and that'll score 2. As Duran uses his wheels, that'll score Wood and Ramirez. And the 5th hit of the day results in 2 runs for the Horsemen, and Duran on 3rd. Crowd a little late cheering for that one, but there they are. That'll bring up Trey Turner against Yamamoto. And Yoshinobu will get Turner to ground out to short to end the inning. The 2 runs on the board for the Horsemen off the triple from Duran put them out in front by 1, 2-1. Gladiators at the plate, top of the 5th. And it'll be the bottom of the lineup. Lawrence Butler leading off against Carlos Rodon. Rodon will get Butler to ground back to the pitcher. Error 9-10, no error. Butler, I believe he has the only grand slam in the league, right? Has there been another one?
I don't know. I've been some walk-offs. I don't know about grand slams.
Yeah. Luis Garcia batting 136 on the season. And PBBD for Garcia, and he'll hit a double. 6th hit of the day for the Gladiators, and a runner in scoring position for Nimmo. And Nimmo will hit that one up and high and deep and gone. Brandon Nimmo will put the Gladiators back in front as Garcia comes around to score on that one. And that will make it 3-2 now. Second hit of the day for Nimmo. And that is his first home run of the season. Finding Nimmo. Nimmo. They bring up Austin Wells with a 1 down here in the 5th. And Wells will strike out. Good number on a hitter's card. Third strikeout of the day for Rodon will bring up Albert Pujols, singled in his last at bat. Rodon will get Pujols to ground out to short. And that'll do it there. But a 2-run homer by Nimmo puts the Gladiators back in front here in the 6th as these two teams, or excuse me, the 5th, as these two teams go back and forth. And Brandon Lau will lead off against Yamamoto here in the bottom of 5. And Yamamoto will strike out Lau. 7th strikeout on the day for Yamamoto. 1 down here in the 5th for Barry Bonds. What's up?
Yeah, I'll pitch to him.
Bonds and Yamamoto. And Yamamoto will strike out Barry Bonds. 8th strikeout for Yamamoto. That'll bring up Michael Busch. Nobody on, 2 down. Yamamoto, 3 up, 3 down, strikes them all out. 9th strikeout of the day. And we're through 5, top of 6 we go. Let's take a look at some players that have had a hot run of it lately here in the XLB. You can see a Gwinnett Gladiator on that list, Darryl Strawberry, batting .583 in his last 3 games with 5 RBIs and 6 runs scored. Darryl has been on an absolute tear. And you love it when it works out like this, Jason, where Darryl Strawberry is set to lead off the top of the 6th now.
Almost like you knew that.
Not on purpose.
Oh.
Rodon. Short leash for him. And he will strike out Strawberry.
Ooh.
4th strikeout for Rodon will bring up Bobby Witt Jr. Rodon will get Witt to line out to 3rd. 2 down for Soderstrom. PBBD for Soderstrom. And that'll be a double for him. 7th, 8th hit of the day for the Horsemen. Soderstrom batting .364 coming into today, and he's got a couple more hits. Now Rodon, the lefty, will take on Suarez. And Rodon will get Suarez to pop up to 2nd. And that'll do it for the top of the 6th. Rodon gets through it, and now William Contreras will lead off the bottom of the 6th, where Yamamoto has struck out 3 in a row. And Yamamoto will strike out 4 in a row. 10th strikeout of the day for him. James Wood at the plate. And Yamamoto will strike him out. 5 in a row. Jorge Polanco. Yamamoto will give up a single into center to Jorge Polanco. 6th hit of the day for the Horsemen. They've got 1 on with 2 down, and Jose Ramirez at the plate. Yamamoto will strike him out, so they give up the single, but that's 6 straight strikeouts for outs for Yamamoto through 6. He's got 12, and the top of the 7th we go, where we will get a substitute pitcher, and it will be Mason Miller coming in from the Oakland Athletics to take on Lawrence Butler. Excuse me?
My.
Mason Miller against Lawrence Butler. The Butler did it. Top of 7. Butler. He'll take that one high and deep in the first pitch from Mason Miller. is lifted up and out of here, and not a way to come into the game. And the bullpen has been a major issue for the Horsemen here the last couple of games, turning potential wins or opportunities to wins into losses. Chariot ride round tripper once again for Butler as he goes deep again. Luis Garcia at the plate, and Miller will get Garcia to ground out to second for the first out. Bring up Brandon Nimmo. He homered in the fifth to put him in the lead. Miller. Strike him out looking. A lot of strikeouts on that card. Whoops. Good Lord. Then bring up Austin Wells. Nobody on, 2 down. And Miller will walk Wells. Quite a lot of walks on that card. Good Lord. Second walk of the day for the Horsemen will bring up Pujols. And Miller will get Pujols to fly out to deep center, where Duran goes up and makes the big catch, robbing the home run. That would have extended this lead out further. 4-2 now as we head to the bottom of 7, where Jaron Duran, who just made the catch, will lead off.
Usually happens.
Duran against Yamamoto. And Yamamoto will give up a single into right to Duran. A leadoff hitter on. 7th hit of the day for the Horsemen. But Yamamoto has done a good job of just limiting the damage. Just little ticky-tack singles here and there. Trey Turner at the plate with 1 on. And Yamamoto will strike out Trey Turner for his 13th strikeout of the game. That'll bring up Brandon Lau. Yamamoto will walk Lau. Third walk of the game for Yamamoto as well, and that'll bring up Barry Bonds with 2 on and 1 down.
Walk him. I can't do it. I pitched to him here. Good Lord.
What's the manager going to do for Gwinnett? What is Russell Crowe going to do?
We walking him.
You're walking him?
Yeah.
Barry Bonds will be walked to load the bases. 4th walk of the day for Yamamoto. And that'll bring up Michael Busch with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 7th. Is the infield in or back?
Double play depth. We're back.
Okay. Yamamoto from the stretch. And he will strike out Busch for out number 2. 14th strikeout, William Contreras at the plate. PBCD for Contreras, and he will strike out.
Oh, did not see that coming at 32.
15th strikeout for Yamamoto through 7 innings, and the Horsemen load the bases but can't get anything for it. Top of 8 we go, where Darryl Strawberry will lead off against Mason Miller. PBZ, 51. Fielding table, 13. First baseman must grounder, batter safe on error, and runners advance. If CD4 at first base, batter is out. CD3. So Strawberry on with the air. And that one goes on Michael Busch.
He's stealing.
Going for second. 47. He's in there just by the skin of his teeth. So now a runner on second for Bobby Witt Jr. against Mason Miller. And Witt will strike out. Second strikeout of the day from Mason Miller. They'll bring up Tyler Soderstrom. Miller will walk Soderstrom. Now Miller finds himself in a bad spot with Eugenio Suarez at the plate. 2 on, 1 down. PBCD for Suarez, and he'll strike out.
It's a good card.
Third strikeout for Miller, and now 2 down for Lawrence Butler, who homered in his last at bat. And Butler is out of there as he will ground back to the pitcher. And Miller works himself into a spot and then works himself out of it. 4-2 as we head to the bottom of the 8th, where James Wood will lead off.
Timeout. Emmanuel Clase.
Emmanuel Clase will check in. Yamamoto goes 7, strikes out 15, which I do believe will give him the strikeout lead for the season. I don't know, I'll have to see. I don't know what he came in here today with.
12.
Yeah, 27 will do it. But it'll be Emmanuel Clase checking in now, and he'll take on James Wood leading off the bottom of the 8th. Z 16. Pitcher is caught doctoring the ball and is ejected. The league suspends him. He Brett Saberhagened it.
Wow. Andrew Kittredge.
Trying to put a
I
stop.
don't care if you kick him out of the league. That piece of crap. Get out of here.
Caught gambling. And now Andrew Kittredge will check in, and James Wood will face him. Wood was like, hey, check that ball. On strike 1, they reset. Wood will strike out. Doctor that, Kittredge says.
Wood likes to swing.
Yes, he does. He leads the league in strikeouts, I believe, for hitters. Take a look at that real quick. But I believe that is correct. Yes, came into today with 13. Bring up Jorge Polanco. Kittredge will get Polanco to fly or pop up to short. Excuse me. 2 down for Kittredge here in the 8th to bring up Jose Ramirez. And Kittredge will get Ramirez to ground out to the shortstop.
I think there's a new pitching stats called preserve or preservation or something like that. Kind of like a hold, but maybe a little bit different. I heard him talking about it on TV the other day.
Interesting. Preservation.
I have to look it up. Something
Aroldis Chapman will check in.
Oh, bringing in the big dog.
First appearance this season for Chapman, and he'll take on Luis Garcia, the 9-hole hitter, in the top of the 9th. And Chapman will strike out Garcia. Bring up Brandon Nimmo, 2 for 4 today. And Chapman will strike out Nimmo.
He ain't messing around.
Bring up Austin Wells with 2 down. PBBD for Wells, and he will strike up, 3 down for Chapman in his first appearance this season. That'll take us to the bottom of the 9th, where Jaron Duran will lead off for the Horsemen.
Duran.
We'll bring in Johan Duran from the Twins to try and close this one out and get his 3rd save of the season. He'll have to go through Jaron Duran leading off. And Johan Duran versus Jaron Duran, and Duran strikes out Duran.
This is Duran.
Girls on film. That's the one I went with instead of Hungry Like the Wolf. 1 down for Trey Turner. And Duran will get Turner to ground out to 2nd. 2 down now for Brandon Lau.
Big out here.
And Lau
no.
will take that one high and deep. Lau.
We are the Horsemen. You want to be a Horseman again? You will die a Horseman.
That'll make it 4-3 off the home run from Lau, and that'll bring up Barry Bonds, nobody on, and 2 down, the Judgment Day dinger for Bam Bam Brandon Lau.
Oh, we pitching to him.
Barry Bonds versus Johan Duran with 2 out here in the 9th. And Bonds will slap a double into right, much to the dismay of the manager over there. Russell Crowe heard screaming from the dugout.
That was the pitcher when he threw it. No!
That'll bring up Michael Bush. Game-tying run at 2nd against Duran. And Duran will walk Bush. That'll bring up William Contreras now. 2 on, 2 down. Bottom of the 9th. And Duran will get him to ground out to 3rd to end the game. So once again, Duran makes it exciting. And Yamamoto gets a dominant victory here, as Rodon will take the loss. Kittredge will give him a preservation.
That was a hit.
MVP of the game. Brandon Nimmo, Nims as we like to call him. So 4-3, that will move the Gladiators to 6-1 on the season, and now Las Vegas has dropped 3 games in a row and finds themselves at 3-4 after 4 weeks. So a tough loss for the Horsemen. We'll see if they can bounce back, as that is opening up the door a little bit for Owaka to pull away and for some other teams to climb back into it. Gwinnett seems to have separated themselves from the pack. We'll see if that continues on. Keep watching for more XLB action as Week 7 rolls along.